Hey, 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 it's Tia, baby. And I am back with another video. Yes, I'm back to my regular regime. I'm trying to stay in the house today. Um, yeah. But today's video, we're going to talk about the characters that's in the Selena series. We're going to talk about the characters that's playing Abraham and Marcela Quintanilla. So first, we're going to talk about the lady that's playing Marcela Quintanilla. Her name is Sadie or Sadie Lopez. Um, she was born in Mexico, but she's a Mexican American, but she was born in Mexico. Um, she started acting in 1991, and one of her movies were Mi Vida Loca, which is My Crazy Life. It was in 93. It's to me, I didn't see the movie, but it reminds me by looking at the cover, it reminds me of Dangerous Minds. If anybody remember the movie that Michelle Pfeiffer played in. She was the white teacher in a predominantly urban neighborhood in California. She was a English teacher who taught like urban youth that were in that were either doing criminal activity or they were just didn't care about their life. So she made a change in their lives. It was mainly predominantly like Hispanic and black students at this particular high school, and it was a good movie. I have the movie as well. It came out in 95. But it reminds me of that. But this is predominantly like a Hispanic, you know, coming of age movie where like five, you know, girls, I think they call them chilos or something like that, where they were in a gang or they were around people in the gang. And they just talk about their life as friends and what they, what they did together in that rough neighborhood. I didn't watch the movie. Maybe I should. It looks interesting. If I find it online, I'm gonna watch it. But she was the one of the main characters in that movie. And also, I found out that Salma Hayek was also like a um, she wasn't a main character, but she appeared in the movie. She won a couple of Alma Awards. If you don't remember the Alma Awards, I don't know if I know that they stopped showing the Alma Awards like on regular, TV channels because I used to watch it when it came out, but it was basically like not the Grammys, but it was basically like the Oscars for like Latino actors and actresses. So she won Alma Award for Best Latino Cast. I just want to make sure I had the title right. So yes, I'm reading from it. For Outstanding Latino Cast in the Made for Television Movie or Miniseries, because I guess she was in another miniseries before she was doing Selena miniseries. And this was back in 98 or 98. And then she also had another Alma Award. She won another Alma Awards for um, favorite TV actress supporting role in 96. She currently lives with her husband and two children in California, Los Angeles, California. Um, and also, little did I know, she was also in the Selena movie. She played, which I didn't understand. I thought it was her cousin. She played her cousin Sarah. but she was actually a fictional character in the movie. I don't understand why. If the movie was if the movie was a biopic, why did they make a fictional character for her in the Selena movie when it was by her when her family was involved? Like, I thought that she played her cousin Sarah this whole time, or a cousin, but she played a person named Deborah. And I found out that Deborah was a fictional character. She was the girl that Selena hung out with at, the mall. They went to the mall together to find a dress for the Grammys, the 1994 Grammys. Yeah, and she like was trying to help her put it on and stuff like that, and they got into an altercation with the white lady that worked at the dress shop. If y'all remember that part. Um, yeah, so that was interesting to know. I did not know that she was a fictional character until now. I wonder why that was. I mean, she could have made her. She could have made her cousin Sarah. She could have like, I don't know, but maybe Sarah didn't want to be mentioned. I don't know. I don't know. That was awesome. Okay, so that was basically it about Sadie Lopez that's playing Marcella in the series in the Selena series. So the person that's playing Abraham in the series is Ricardo Antonio Chavera. He was born in September 1st, 1971, in Austin, Texas. He was he played in numerous like movies, and he also played had a guest role in the show 24, and also NYPD Blue. So those are like cop action, TV shows. I wasn't into those. He was a humanitarian. He was a supporter for the breast cancer association, because his mom passed away from breast cancer and ovarian cancer when she was in her 40s. So he is the San Antonio's honorary spokesperson for the charity of Susan G. Komen for the cure. And in last June, he served as the national team for the Race of the Cure in DC. Mm. So he's a humanitarian. He also is best known for the role of Carlos Soles, who is the husband of the woman that's played by Eva Longoria, Gabrielle Solis in the show Desperate Housewives. I used to love that show. I used to love it. I only watched like the first season or the first couple of seasons. Then after that, it started getting weird. So then I just stopped watching it. But he was known to be in that show, a main character in that show. Um, He also recently, last year, well, we all know that one of the characters from Desperate Housewives, Hoffman, who and her the lady that played Rebecca in Full House, I think her name was Lawton or something like that. But they found out people someone found out that they were um, breaking the law of like college admission briberies to get their children into college. I guess because they're celebrities, so they felt like they can do anything. So I guess last year Carlos, oh no, his name is not Carlos. That's his actor name. But what is his name? I forgot his name already. Ricardo. Ricardo Chavera, he was asked in an interview about his co-star, his former co-star, Felicity Huffman. He said that according to him, he said he saw this happen 8 years ago while working on, Desperate Housewives. And I'm thinking to myself, so if you been saw this, why didn't you speak up and say anything about it? If you saw this 8 years ago while working on Desperate Housewives with her, he said, I've seen a lifetime of it being a half breed. What? He's a half breed? I didn't know that. And he said he struggled with the difficulties of it on a daily basis of the cultural biases. So he was like, I received it on both ends, but whatever, slap on the wrist. Sorry, but this is shit. This is shit. And then he said he called it white privilege. He was like, this is considered white privilege, which is true. Because if it was someone of color that was doing this, they would have got a harsher time. Because according to what I read, she only got a 14-day a 14-day prison time, and she had to pay $30,000 fine and complete 250 hours of community service. Had it been someone of color, like African American or Hispanic or yeah, or African, they probably would have got a harsher sentence. They would have probably got years in prison. But because she's white and also because she's a celebrity, that's why she got the slap on the wrist. But when I researched on Ricardo, I didn't see that he was a half breed. So I guess he's half white and half Hispanic. And that's why he mentioned he was a half breed. So I guess he had grew up feeling feeling like he was in the game tug of war. Like he had to feel like he had to embrace his white roots and then his Hispanic roots, which is kind of like very difficult when you're biracial. I have biracial. I have a biracial aunt and I have a biracial uncle, but I mean, they embrace their white side of their family, but they're more prone to their black side of their family, which is my side, because they around us more than they are around their white family. Not saying that they don't love their other side, but they was raised around us more, so they more in tune with their black culture than their white culture. But I understand the difficulties of being like in a someone that's biracial because I have family members who are biracial. I'm not biracial. I mean, of course, every African American is multiracial. We're not 100% African American. I'm not 100% African American. I was taught by my one of my great grandmothers that I was, that I'm African American and Native American. And I know a lot of black families are known to say that, but I'm not going to say something that's not true. I was taught that I have African, that I'm African. Her parents were white. Her father was white, and her mother was black and Native American. No, her mother was Native American. Her father was white and black. So, and she grew up in Virginia, and that's where most of the Native Americans settled in. And I mean, I'm proud of both. I don't know a lot about my Native American side because I never met her parents. They died before I was born. But I embrace it. I'm happy either way. I knew I was kind of different because I have a different hair texture than every African American have, different hair textures. But I didn't have. My hair is really like, you know, thin, fine. I mean, when I was younger, I had more like thicker hair. Like I had fuller hair, but my hair was always wavy, and and I didn't have no products in it. You can just slap water on my hair, and my hair was like really, really wavy. But back then, I didn't understand, what it was. But when I was told, I was like, okay, well, then that explains it. As I got older, that explains it. And my brother, he really had the the fine hair. When he was born, he always had the curly, soft curly hair, and people used to think he was Mexican. And up until this day, his hair got a little thicker, but his hair is long. He grew out his hair, so his hair is about almost the same length as mine. But he just keeps it. If you straighten his hair is about the same length as mine. Like if you blow dry it out, and I blow dried his hair out, and his hair is about the same length as mine. But he keeps it up in a ponytail, and the rest in the back shaved off. Um, but yeah, I mean, either way, I'm more into with my African American side than any of my other cultures. But I mean, I didn't have to deal with what he dealt with because I'm not a half breed. I'm just, down the line I have other bloodlines, but I never was like, I didn't have no difficulties dealing with one side and the other side. I mean, I've just been told by friends that your hair is so long, or your hair is different, or something like that. But I didn't take offense to them, like, cause I know why. So it is what it is. But um, that's really all I have about both of them. Um, like I said, we shall see what this looks like when they debuted it. And also, I looked at the lineup for the Selena series. I didn't see Yolanda on there. So I guess it's not going to be about her adult. It's not going to, I feel like it's not going to be based on most of her adult life. I think it's going to be just mainly on when her growing up. Because I remember the last video I said that Abraham said that it was going to be based on the family. So I don't know how this is going to end, but I didn't see Yolanda in the lineup. So I guess they're not going to talk about her, demise. They're just going to talk about the family, her upbringing, and how she got to stardom. And I guess they're going to talk about the marriage, but I'm curious to know what they're going to say and what they're going to take out in regards to their marriage, because we already know that Abraham doesn't like Chris. So I just want to know how they're going to take this, because I remember I did say in the other video that he said he gives the director the okay of what he wants and what he doesn't want in the series. So we all gonna find out together. But this video is probably pretty much boring because I don't really know much more about no. I really don't know what more to say about this series, except because I haven't seen it yet. But I will say I watch, and this is late, but we are quarantined again, and everybody's watching things on Netflix. So even though this series came out last year, I just watched it. I was curious, so I watched the Versace Netflix, and it's called The Assassination of Versace, the American killer spree, something like that. It was a pretty long title, and it was if you didn't see it, oh well, spoiler alert, go see it. Don't watch this video and go see it. But I'm like, but it's been out a year, so people should have seen it. I'm like, this title is very clickbait ish. The movie was great, but the title was not necessary. Like, the movie wasn't even based on Versace at all. Like, they just threw in Versace here and there in throughout the movie, but the main plot was based on the killer, the person that killed Versace. They basically talked more about the killing spree. Like, they went into detail about the many victims that he killed and why, and his upbringing, and all of that, and how he became this killer. And then they threw in Versace every other part. They throw in Versace. And I'm just like, well, if that's the case, they should never named it Versace. They should have just said the killing spree of whoever I forgot the killer name was, but they should have said that. But I guess they wanted everybody to watch it, so they had to put Versace in it. But it wasn't really about Versace for real. They really didn't give a lot of details on Versace. They mainly talked about the killer. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But it was a great movie now, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It kind of reminds me of Yolanda, like the killer, like because the killer of Versace was obsessed with Versace. He wanted to work for him. He wanted to be like him. He had murals of him on his wall. But the reason why he killed him, which they finally revealed it at the end of the movie, was he met him, I guess, and when he went to Florida, Miami, Florida, because Versace had a house in Miami, Florida, which he was killed at. He was killed in front of his doorstep by this person. After a run or after a walk, and he usually go with a security guard, but that day for some reason he went alone. So the killer, well, he didn't know he was the killer at the time. I think Versace was preparing for a show. He knew where Versace was, and he had a conversation with him. I guess he told him how he admired him, that he wanted to work for him, and he also wanted. They had like a brief sexual encounter, but they didn't have sex together. I think they were kissing and stuff like that. And the guy, the killer, he took it the wrong way, and that's why he killed most of his victims. He doesn't do well with rejection. All of the people that he killed, he had some type of either sexual encounter with, or some type of connection with, except for one. He just killed one of his victims because he wanted to steal his car. But the other victims he had an actual relationship with, and they turned him down because they thought he was kind of bizarre, or they felt like he wasn't telling him his true story, which I thought too. I thought he was like lying about what his upbringing, because it was bizarre. He was talking about his dad was this big time stockbroker in California. They moved into a big house. He had the master bedroom, while his mom had a small room, and his sisters and brothers shared a room. And I thought, and the people the guys that he told was like, they looked at him like, you're lying, but they just let him talk. And I thought he was lying. But when they gave a detailed about his upbringing, it was actually true. It was so bizarre, but it was actually true. Everything that he was telling these people were true. But everybody thought he was trying to be a showboat and that he was lying, but he was actually true. This is everything he said was true. That was his upbringing, but it was all a lie. Because his dad stole from many people, and he abandoned his family and went back to the Philippines, and he left his family for broke. The killer was half white, half Italian, and half Filipino. Filipino on his father's side, and Italian on his mother's side. But back to him and Versace. He, he thought that he can have a relationship with Versace, because Versace and him was, had a night together. They were kissing or whatever. Versace didn't see him in that way. He was like, "You're a doll. You're cool, but no, it's not going to be nothing beyond that. It was just a one night thing. It was nothing." And he also was like, okay, well, if we can't be together, can I work with you? I I have a great eye for fashion, da 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 da. Like he was pleading with him. He was like, no, he basically turned him down. So of course he doesn't do well with rejection. So he got upset. Then I don't know if it was the next day or whenever he saw him off his guard, he went up to him and shot him in the head. He shot him a few times, and then it was just this big, search thing to find him. But the other victims that he killed, they were local people and they were still looking for him, but it wasn't his big thing until he killed Versace. But they really didn't even go into really gory details with his encounter with Versace, because they were so busy like going into details about his the killer's upbringing and his connection with his other victims and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, is this going to be just like, is the Selena series going to be just like the Versace, where they they show you what the adult Selena, but you know, the main plot is going to be basically based on her upbringing, like her childhood and all that. But like I said, we should see. It just reminded me of, what if the series going to be just like the Versace one? Like they just put Selena on there, but it's not going to really be about her per se. It's going to just, it's just like clickbait. But who knows? Like I said, we're going to all see it together and give an opinion about it. But hopefully you like this video. It's very boring, but hey, I tried. I'll be back. I'll try to come back with another video next week. I will probably talk about the characters that play AB and Suzette. So I'm gonna go down the line of the characters in the series. So that will be the next video for next week. But until then, have a great day, stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Peace.